Well, Jim, speaking of for a limited time only, I only had a limited amount of time this week. A lot of work, a lot of editing, a lot of things happening behind the scenes. I did not watch WWE Raw. I feel like that's a good thing, but I understand you saw it and you have some thoughts.
Yeah, and my first thought is you, because I had to suffer and you didn't. I know just because you had those various professional commitments that you had to make, you were not able to catch up on Raw, but I have notes here on it somewhere. I don't remember where it is. And boy, do they put some type of tranquilizer, some type of lithium or Xanax or something in the Hartford, Connecticut water these days? Or is it just they came back from France back to regular human beings?
Yeah, maybe that.
This was, well, you didn't see it, but this was.
No, I started it. I gave it a shot for the first few minutes and I was like, you know what?
That's even worse.
Yeah, I was like, there's nothing holding me here right now with this. There's no big thing. I like the Drew and CM Punk stuff, but beyond that, there's nothing happening on Raw to pull me in right now.
Well, the thing is, they went from the French crowd that was just completely over the top, batshit, holy crap, we love everything, to the folks in Hartford, even for a WWF domestic crowd in the States, were kind of like, it was one of those days. It didn't seem, or one of those nights, one of those crazy nights where it didn't seem to gel for everybody. They even tried to do the Jey Uso thing. That's one of the only things that the audience really tried to participate in, and it still didn't come off the same, because it was like every fourth person going, yeah, I got a phone. Here you go. Okay. My arm's tired. Well, I mean, that
you never think about that part of it. Yeah.
Does require some level of commitment physically from the audience, right? With that fucking deal. And what if people have a bad rotator cuff, AC joint? We could be seeing the start of some lawsuits, people throwing their shit out of fucking connection.
You mean to tell me there have been no incidents where someone gets overzealous and just starts smacking the person in front of them in the head or the person behind them at the same time?
Yeah, you got that phone in your hand. If you bring it up, you either smack the guy in the front of you in the back of the head, or you fucking cave the face in of the person behind you. Yes, Your Honor, I was standing there watching the show when suddenly this guy threw his right arm over his fucking head and hit me in the face with his phone.
It would be the opposite of what they show. Now they show with the lights go out and all the phones come up. Now it would be the lights are out, the phones start going off. They turn the lights back on. Everyone's on the floor.
Everybody's bleeding. Oh, the humanity. Fucking, we need the fucking medic stat. All right, so it could get dangerous out there. It's like the mosh pit. When I saw that shit, when that became a thing, I was like, what the fuck is the matter with these people? You get hurt out there like that. They don't care if they're injured because they want to express their antisocial tendencies. Yeah, well, goddamn, and go kick somebody in the balls, get it over with. Anyway, so there's trouble in I'm just going to go through a few things in generics. There's trouble in the Judgment Day. You can tell because there's been all this conflict and these things going sideways. But now suddenly Damian Priest, they do the opening interview. Dominic's in a sling, by the way, and there's Priest, there's Finn, there's JD, and there's Dominic in a sling. It's almost like Priest is the fucking high school football fullback that got left back 2 or 3 years with the sophomore smartasses that are a foot shorter than he is.
All right, listen here, sweat hogs. Here's what we're going to do.
It doesn't. I don't know that if they want Priest to be a singles world champion, that he needs the, Mo, Larry, and Curly in the group at this point. But nevertheless, they start to apologize to him for not, doing whatever the fuck in France. And he, no, because it was my fault. Remember when he shoved them after they interfered and tried to attack Jay when he was done with him? But Priest now is apologizing. I lost my cool. I appreciate JD. Finn's my brother. They had a big three-way hug, and then Dominic came up from behind and grabbed all of them. So we thought Priest was going to break off and become a babyface because he's refusing the help and he's cranky with the group. And now he was remorseful and, he's the one apologizing. So that mean he's staying a heel or he's just a fucking pussy? I don't know.
In a lot of ways, WWE has really not adopted, but gone with some of the stuff that they were saying, or that Cody was saying in the early days of AEW. No baby faces and no heels. I mean, clearly there are, but with something like Judgment Day, sometimes it depends on a segment by segment basis. And even though they're heels, they're presented, especially in the backstage segments, any of these segments where they're either arguing or just discussing things passionately. They're concerned for each other. They embrace each other, show support for one another. They're heels, but they're presented in a sympathetic babyface light way too often.
They care about each other. They support each other.
Hey, listen, other than Priest, whose voice, yo, Dominic, his voice is up there. Every one of them, Finn, Dominic, Rhea, we've heard them do their, I'm Rhea Bloody Ripley. And then she goes in the back, guys, I'm really concerned about lunch, whatever the fuck their problem is. Every one of them, we've heard their voices come down and we've heard the concerned voice. And again, it's puzzling. They're heels, but they're shown in that light. And I don't get it.
Maybe he ought to send Finn and JD out to fucking open a halfway house for girls who won't go all the way and give them the support.
I've become a fan of JD. The more I watch him, I appreciate every single thing he does. He does a lot of the little things well.
See, that's Finn and JD as a tag team. I could kind of be interested. Finn's a tremendous worker and JD's got personality. He's working his ass off. He's trying hard.
And they're similar size. They would look good together.
Yeah, because the one wouldn't be fucking 1.5 feet taller than the other one. But the group, it looked odd. But anyway, that's the thing. And now Drew is out. His elbow is injured, or some part of his arm is injured. Some of the mechanics in the arm there. And so he's out. So Finn has to fight Jey Uso instead of advancing in the King of the Ring tournament, blah, blah, blah. And so they led into that match. And Jay, again, the hot dogging. It's reached a new, where he's throwing those lousy fucking punches with that, the awkward split leg double stomp where the guy has to fucking stand. I know you always have to stand there and take the punches, but boom, boom, boom. And then he backs up, does a break dance, a little fucking Egyptian snake dance, and then throws a fucking open hand and makes a big slapping noise and whatever the fuck. It's too much. His work does not bear that out, does it? God damn it. I'm not talking about this specific instance. I'm talking about what we're seeing regularly.
I'm sick of Jey Uso, the wrestler, personally. I really liked him in the Bloodline stuff where he got to do promos and show emotion. I don't like his matches, and the yeet thing is certainly something that the WWE fans really seem to like. But it's one of those things I'm just not into anything about what's happening right now with Jey Uso. I don't like it at all.
If mark my words, if he doesn't tighten up his work, and if he doesn't cut down somewhat on the hot dogging and self-aggrandizement and telling the people to cheer for it, it's going to be a backlash of it. And there was, as a matter of fact, I remember one point, and I'll move on to the finish of this thing, but there was one point where, again, he's up on the ropes, and he does the punches, boom, and then he draws back. He's doing the big wind up, blah, 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 and the fucking heel fucking trips him and foils it. There is nothing worse that you can do to a babyface than when you foil his hot doggery. Because then that makes him look like a fucking idiot. And instead of his fans saying, oh, goddamn, he shouldn't have done that to Jay, is like, Jay should have fucking known better. He shouldn't have been hot dogging. That's one of the first things you used to learn from the veterans was don't let if you're a baby face, yes, you can be stopped, preferably from behind or illegally, but even stopped, but not while you're hot dogging instead of giving it your best effort. Who was it in the mixed martial arts match? I don't remember whether it was UFC or whatever that. Goddamn, was it John Jones at one time that one of the more well thought of fighters was like pointing at his chin and taunting the guy? This was years ago, and then the guy popped off and knocked him the fuck out. It can happen. Don't fucking hot dog and have it backfire on you. Anyway, after this match, or at the end of this match, Drew came through the people over the rail and to ringside, and while Jay was distracted, Finn schoolboyed him for a 2 count, and then when Jay kicked out, Finn fucking charged at him, and Jay just hit him with a spear. Boom, 1, 2, 3, and that was it. And then Drew, calmly and slowly, with a mean look on his face, gets in the ring, and Jay rolls out and walked off. So I'm not sure of the psychology of that, in that Drew's getting in the ring. He's not jumping in to attack, but at the same time, he's getting in with a mean face. And Jay, instead of standing his ground and like, well, what the fuck and whatever, he just dropped and stopped, drop, and roll like he was on fire and backed up the entranceway, keeping his eye on Drew. Like, I don't want any more of this. Or I don't want any of that. And that was that. But then, in the back, Drew was upset with Adam Pearce because Punk has screwed him. And he said he wanted to tape his arm up and get in the King of the Ring, but Pearce did a really good promo telling him no, he wasn't going to do that. He was going to respect the doctors, blah, blah, blah. And Drew gets in a fancy sports car that's sitting there and drives off, and within 7 seconds, a Z28 pulls up. And it's Punk, and he gets out and tosses the keys to Pearce like he's the valet parking guy. Says, sorry I'm late. Where's Drew McIntyre? Oh, geez, you just missed him. And Punk's like, seriously? And he started to go that way, and Pearce, no. I'm sure that Punk probably is trying to be a good soldier. And when creative in this company that is somewhat more professionally run on a variety of levels gives him something, he's trying to make the best out of it. But goddamn, that was just way too fucking convenient that he should pull up in a sports car to the exact same location that Drew McIntyre just pulled out of in a sports car 7 seconds beforehand. Don't you think?
Well, I mean, that's just the way things are done. It's part of the overall story, I would think. That way you kind of avoid the confrontation, but you still get a lot out of people waiting for the confrontation.
Well, I know that they were doing that. They can't fight every week or people be sick of seeing them fight, but it was just so convenient. But that shows me that Punk is trying to, because I'm sure Punk knew it was convenient too. He's trying to be a good soldier there. He's taking what he's given and he's trying to make it work. But then it got better from there, because he said, well, in that case, tell the truck to play my music. And he walked through the hallway past Gorilla, through the curtain, and suddenly into the arena like Mussolini in a Z28. He came in, but he was late.
You're modulating nonstop, and now you don't.
Hey, I've got model modulation going on. It's perfect. If you construct a model of modulation, that's the modulation that I've got now. I'm modeling it after your model modulation.
I don't have modulation.
Well, that's I took it all away from you. Anyway, I need to catch up on how he got trapped in the WWE headquarters. I had a hectic weekend, and I know there was something on social media. Did he actually legitimately get stuck, locked in, kept against his better judgment or own will in the new headquarters up there, or was this some type of storyline programming?
I have no idea because I didn't look too deep into it, but I saw the things that you must have seen, and I'm thinking my first thought is because it's ridiculous the idea of CM Punk being locked in headquarters. Oh, this is some wacky social media bit. But then other people were saying it's true. He changed Bruce Pritchard's nameplate to say Jim Herd. I saw that. But I don't know.
You know, at the old place, yeah, they had a roof garden, and if you were an employee and had the key cards that would get you in the door, you could go up on the weekends, nobody was there, and have you a nice little fucking picnic on the roof garden or whatever. Maybe he got stuck up there. They got a bigger building now. Maybe they got a bigger garden. Anyway, I think the promo that he did was fine and the concept was fine, and almost nothing worked in front of these people. It wasn't just this segment. It was most of the night. The crowd was just not really, because he did the deal. I'm going to hijack the show and hold it hostage. I'm not getting out of the ring because I came here to pick a fight with Drew McIntyre, and I heard he just left, but he's got to be at a stoplight. Got to be out on the corner. He can't be but a few blocks away. Everybody take a picture and tweet it to Drew McIntyre. If he's not a coward, he'll come back. Can you imagine if they had asked the audience in France to do that? My God, you'd have gone blind from the flashes going off, whatever the fuck. Do they still flash with the phone cameras?
Sometimes there is use for a flash.
Well, nevertheless, they didn't react loudly. He told the story about his tricep tear. He tied it into the fucking, situation with Drew whining and bitching. He said, I'm a 5-tool player and Drew's just a tool, from the crowd. He was trying to milk it like he really was waiting for Drew. And then finally he goes home with it. You prayed for me to be injured. You prayed for this and I broke your elbow. If you don't show up now, the next time I see you, I'm going to break your face and I'm going to break your heart. I don't know if you're a God-fearing man, but one thing you fear is CM Punk. Drew never came back. They played Punk's music and he left. Again, with any other crowd in any other building that we've seen on any other television program, this would have worked a little better, but also I mentioned the coincidence of him just pulling up when Drew, had pulled out and then going out to say, well, he's still close. He's still got time. Because the people have the picture in their head of Austin coming back in the ambulance or this guy or that guy or the other fucking guy. You thought Drew was coming back. When he didn't come back, there wasn't really an ending for this bit. So it's yeah. See what I mean?
Thank God I didn't see it, but yeah, I see what you mean.
All right. I also, a couple of other things. I watched the wrestling debut, at least on Raw, of Ilya Dragunov. And guess who they had him work with?
The guy from Imperium?
No, they did not. They had him work with that Rick O'Shea fella.
Ricochet.
And here's the thing that I've realized is that it takes two to tango. We love Ilya. He's got a different style. He sells, is incredible. He's got the facials. He's small, but it works for him. And also he has the bangers. He has the stiff matches. Gunther and he were two of the, 5 or 6 best matches that we've seen in the past 5 years. And he's a very unique kind of guy, but it doesn't, what is special about him doesn't work when the illusion of the underdog, and now he's a heel, by the way. I don't know how they work that when this guy takes a classic ass whipping his baby face. But it doesn't work when it's not a contest because they started out trying to do Ricochet shit. And this wasn't a good showing for Ilya because he doesn't need to be doing the fucking gymnastics routines. It pops his balloon. It destroys his aura. I'll give you, you can buy that this guy is either trying the best he can to kick the shit out of somebody, or he's getting the shit kicked out of him, or he's mentally into the thing because of his facials and his emotion, the last thing you want in one of Ilya's matches, like in one of Gunther's matches, is for something to look ridiculously fake or choreographed, right? There was a point in this match where they had to fight on the top turnbuckle and slow it down because Ilya has to sit on the top and wait for Ricochet to get up next to him so they could stand up together carefully so he could get Hurricane Rana'd. And then it's just a small guy doing other shit that everybody else does. So with Ricochet, that style you would think because Ilya's small, put him with a small athletic guy. No. Even if he's a heel, put him with a regular working baby faces, but put him with regular workers, not fucking cheerleaders. That's not his thing. That's not what gets him over. He's not a flyer or a flipper or whatever. But luckily, he won with a superplex and the diving, driving forearm thingy that he does. But you see what I mean about that? They've got a guy that looks like he's one of the lighter weight guys in the UFC. He's going to fight to the fucking end, and they're putting him in goddamn the floor exercise. It doesn't work. That's not his thing. It's not what makes him special.
Yeah, you could be a Ricochet fan and accept that this is a little bit of a style clash.
And we're not talking about the one that AJ gives out either. Just don't have these two people do this anymore. But you would have thought there was a styles clash between Bronson Reed and Chad Gable. And of course, the whole thing didn't last 5 minutes with an angle and everything. But Chad Gable got a deadlift German suplex with a bridge on Bronson Reed.
Wow.
What I don't know. It didn't look real. It looked computer generated. But what a fucking athlete and what an amateur wrestler he is, and his leverage is impeccable. But anyway, they're doing a three-way thing with Sami Zayn. So Sami Zayn hit the ring after Chad had hit some kind of wing-ding off the top rope, and he tackled Gable, and they called the DQ, and then he fought Bronson Reed, but Gable Germaned him from behind, but Sammy suplexed him, and then Bronson Reed rock-bottomed both of them, and then they were out of there in 5 minutes. So, I don't know, but I like Chad Gable. If we can get more of him and less of his associates, and the model girl especially.
There's too much stuff with the Intercontinental and the U.S. title that devolves into a three-way feud over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And it's happening here again. I'd like to see Chad Gable get a run with someone, not, you're going to do this, and now we'll throw Bronson Reed into the mix. No, just stick with one thing.
Lazy booking. And I wish you had seen Becky Lynch and Liv Morgan face off. Somebody on Twitter said, I've seen pizza delivery guys in pornos deliver lines with more emotion than Liv Morgan. And they got in a fight with Damage. Well, actually, they didn't get in a fight. They got in a fight with Damage Control because Damage Control came out, except when Becky and Liv were back-to-back going to fight off the three heels, then Liv rolled out and left Becky alone. The heels jumped her, and here came Lyra Valkyria. Or Valkyria, the new girl, who made a subpar comeback on the heels, and the fans sat there and ready. Boy, it was a tough crowd, I tell you. And then, even Gunther. I love to watch Gunther versus Sheamus. Maybe not quite so much, but because I've said it before, I don't know if I get Sheamus. His appearance is so off-putting to me. But it's two top guys, and they finally kind of got the people, but not like they would have in any other city in America, apparently. And then the finish was Gunther got a half crab and pulled him away from the ropes, and he fucking tapped out. The babyface that just returned from a long injury time off, he was told to sit in the corner. gave a timeout. And he taps out in his first big TV match. What the fuck is going on? And not only was it a flat finish with a flat crowd, but my DVR froze 3 seconds later, so they almost went off the air. You didn't miss nothing. I'll tell you, boy, howdy.
Well, that was one of the best episodes of Raw I've seen in a while. WWE Raw on...
And you know what? And there's still these people that go, well, he watches all of AEW. He goes into more detail about AEW. Here's the thing. With Raw and to some extent SmackDown these days, especially after the WrestleMania season, there's a lot of this shit. It's not stupid. It's not laughable. It's not unprofessional. It's not a clown show. It's just kind of fucking slow and boring. And there's not really anything to remark about either way, except, yeah, there's nothing wrong with this, but it took up time. But with the other shit, you've got to ask the question on a regular basis in every segment. What the fuck is going on? Can you believe they did this? What the fuck did this mean?
Yeah, I say I can't believe this multiple times every Dynamite.
It was... So anyway, that's what that is.
Well, that's what that is, and it was a close shave, but luckily I had other things to do and I didn't watch Raw. But other people may need a close shave, Jim, and we know someone who could help them with all their shaves, close or far.
How far away can you shave? How far away?
Well, if you have long arms, you could bring your arm in.
But your face is still close, Brian, unless you're shaving someone else, and then if they're more than arm's length away, they're going to have to shave themselves, or elsewise that could be a close shave, because they may not survive. Just like that this commercial
Just like this show today. Jesus.
Barely is surviving your transitions. However, our friends over at Harry's, you know, the last time I talked about our friends at Harry's that have all the shaving supplies and everything you need to have a fine quality slick shave in your own home, from your own hands and your own arms to your own face. All you need, they've got at Harry's, and you laughed at me, Brian. You made mockery at me because I was talking about basically the centerpiece of the whole Harrys.com shaving kit and apparatus is the ergonomically designed razor that has a weighted handle and is shaped in such a way it's ergonomic so that you can easily apply it to your face on either side, your left face or your right face, or your about face. And you laughed at me, and I'll have you know that now I was ahead of the curve here, and so were the people at Harry's, because now how many times have you seen the word ergonomic? Everything's ergonomic it's designed to fit the flow and the contour of your anatomy or your grip or your physiognomy or your colon or whatever you're putting this thing in. Ergonomics are everywhere. Thanks to Harry Ergo at Harrys.com, he started a trend, the ergonomics that built America. And Harry Ergo can help you out too, ladies and gentlemen. Get a close shave and smell better. We understand for some of you that's an issue. They've got the deodorants, the body washes, the hair gel. Also, some of you, again, very dry. Looks like when you're walking down the street, it's snowing, you're flaking out. They got the lotion to keep your skin together and on your body. It's an anti-leprosy type of formulation. And they've, again, everything you're going to need, folks, at Harrys.com. And the best part about it, you can get started with a trial set of the razor with the 5-blade head on it. So you can cut those whiskers a number of ways, long, wide, deep, repeatedly, however, with 5 different blades, with the weighted handle, ergonomic, the foaming shave gel, and a travel cover so you don't slice an artery when you're reaching into your bag to get this bad boy. $3 is what they're charging you for a regular $13 trial set. Then you can sample these fine products and make your own estimation and judgment, or ask people around. Shave a couple of times with the Harry's trial set, $3 at harrys.com/JCE. Normally you'd pay $13 if you were a mark. And shave a couple times with it, and then just ask people on the street. Just say, how does my face look to you? And you'll be surprised the answers that you get, folks. They're going to love it. They're going to say, well, your face looks like the ass of a newborn baby. It's so smooth. Can I just feel it? Can I just place the head of my penis on your cheek? Oh my God, it's amazingly smooth. Feels like baby oil. What did you grease yourself with this morning?
What are you talking about?
You're going to get attention the likes of which you've never gotten before when you use the fine products from harrys.com on your face. And you can get that $13 trial set for only $3 at harrys.com/JCE. And then, if you don't, it's a no-risk trial. If you don't like your shave, no worries. It's on them, and they've got a convenient subscription option. They'll send you stuff regular. You can cancel at any time. Why would you? You're just going to become a fucking wolf man? But nevertheless, certain people in the Himalayas tend not to ever shave during the course of their lifetime their body hair in any manner, shape, or form. The head, the face, the crotch, whatever. You can't tell one end of those sumbitches from another.
They say there are entire countries that look like Lon Chaney Jr.
Well, but actually, no, they look more like Larry Talbot. And not Punk's dog, the real one. Nevertheless, again, you get all this stuff.
What is happening?
What's happening here? Just get all the hair off your face with Harry's. How does that handle feel to you? A lot of people are going to be asking about that ergonomic handle, but the whole package of it, harrys.com/JCE, and then ask people about their impression of your face. You'll be amazed at what you hear.
And you'll be amazed at what you shave with what you shave. And that's Harry's. One more time, what's that promo code, Jim?
Baby, I'm amazed at the way you shave me all the time. And baby, I'm amazed at the way you pluck me.
Promo code I asked for, not disgracing the legacy of Paul McCartney.
Harrys.com, and the promo code is JCE. You're not gonna pay 13, just 3. Bum, 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 bum.